everybody, so we've got a fun review today as we're discussing Season 2 of Invincible. Finally, after such a long period of time, we now have Season 2 of this show. Back in 2021 when this show came out, I thought it was amazing. As someone that reads a lot of comic books and had always heard about Invincible but never had read the source material, I fell in love with everything about this show. And I haven't read too much of the source material in between seasons, but I am a little bit more familiar about this show now than I was going into Season 1. Still reeling from Omni-Man's betrayal last season, Season 2 finds Mark struggling to rebuild his life as he faces a host of new threats, all while battling his greatest fear, that he might become his father without even knowing it. Just in case you weren't aware, Invincible Season 2 is being broken up into two parts. The first 4 episodes of the season are going to be dropping all throughout November, and those are the 4 episodes that I'm going to be giving my thoughts about in this review. I don't necessarily know when next year we're getting the next 4 episodes, but this seems to be a common practice now where we're going to break up the season. Although in the case of Invincible, I do think it is much more satisfactory because episode 4 does feel very much like a mid-season finale. Now, that very first season of Invincible I thought was just pure excellence and really raised the bar in terms of what a comic book series can be all about. Season 2 continues to maintain that same level of excellent quality. It really pushes Mark's development into a vast amount of exciting directions. It's a true testament to the excellent writing of the show, with its heavy emphasis early on the aftermath of what Omni-Man did, not just with how the world copes after these events, but also how many of our heroes are trying to regroup themselves, attempting to continue being heroes despite all of this trauma still fresh on their mind. Season 2 for sure still has all the amazing qualities that you want in a comic book show, but the mature writing and the journey we go on with Mark, I think, is one of the strongest aspects. They find Mark to be such a compelling character to follow as he continues to mature, not just as a person, but as a superhero. Despite all the adversity put in front of him over the course of these 4 episodes and these week-to-week adventures as Invincible, watching Mark have this inner turmoil inside of himself, basically pushing himself to continue being invincible, and worried about the possibility if eventually he's going to turn out similar to his father. Even in some instances over the course of these adventures, trying to do his best to do the right thing and fix all of his father's previous mistakes. Given the fact there are still quite a lot of people on Earth who were affected in some shape or form by Omni-Man that we're now figuring out more and more of now that we know Omni-Man is not really that much of a hero. Each episode in their week-to-week adventures are such a blast and so different, diverse, depending on what mission Mark is on. And now I've grown more accustomed to the overall tone of this show and how brutal, bloody, and violent it can be. Because last season, that was kind of a surprise to me, even though I'm used to the blood and gore because I'm a massive horror fan, while also watching shows like The Boys. And even still in these 4 episodes, the level of gore and brutality that you come accustomed to finds ways to shock you in a lot of different ways and big surprises. Really wasting no time getting into the carnage because the very first episode of Season 2 opens up with just pure, unadulterated brutality. My jaw was pretty much on the floor with the way they opened up episode 1 of Season 2. Considering the way that we jump into the sequence and then there's no context on what exactly is going on until later on in the episode when they explain it a little bit more. Then on top of that, you pretty much have Mark getting brutalized in every shape and form, practically every episode, which is kind of the standard at this point because he's invincible. Another aspect that keeps everything fun and fresh in Season 2 is the plethora of new characters. There are a lot of great new characters, along with some great returning characters. Like in particular, Alan the Alien is back and he pretty much has a major spotlight in one of the episodes. And there are even sprinklings of Omni-Man in Season 2 Part 1, but don't expect a whole lot of them. It's very much small doses without giving too much away. This goes along with what I'm saying about all the new characters. I don't know what the crazy budget is for this show. It is Amazon after all, and Jeff Bezos has unlimited cash flow. But the stacked voice cast, once again, I'm amazed at who they have voicing characters in this show, similar to Season 1. Since a lot of the iconic cast from Season 1 is back, and then you add on people like Ben Schwartz, Tatiana Maslany, Peter Cullen, Optimus Prime himself voices a character. And my personal favorite amongst the new people in the voice cast is Sterling K. Brown, who plays Angstrom. So far, with what's built up for his character in these first 4 episodes and his power set in the way that it involves the multiverse, I found him to be very fascinating, and it seems like we are playing the long game in terms of building up his villainy. With everything they set up, though, I think it's going to be really exciting as far as payoffs are concerned. As far as things I wasn't overly fond of, one of the things is some of the supporting cast. Anytime we cut to the stuff involving the Guardians of the Globe, that stuff I wasn't a big fan of at large. A lot of their inner turmoil turmoil in the development between their members never piqued my interest. All of the stuff with Mark is so much more fascinating to me. So whenever we cut to them, even when they introduce this new member to the team, personally, I just wasn't as invested because Mark's stuff is so much better than what they have going on. And surprisingly, we get a little bit more focus on Debbie as a character in season 2, at least in these first 4 episodes, because similar to Mark, she is dealing with a lot of trauma, realizing how horrible her husband was, and she's also trying to cope with those emotions, but it's done in a less interesting way. A lot of her arc is very similar to Mark's, just on a more human level. The most interesting thing that came from her development is one episode in particular when Debbie goes to a support meeting for people that are married to superheroes. Still all around, season 2 of Invincible is yet another epic season of this series and continues to balance mature themes and adrenaline-fueled entertaining adventures quite well. Much like season 1, I think this is a much-watched show if you're a big fan of season 1 and you want to continue to see Mark grow as a character. There are a lot of big twists and turns just in these first 4 episodes. The way that we conclude things in episode 4 really is going to be tough as far as waiting until we get the next batch of 4 episodes. It's tough because I don't want to single out one episode as my personal favorite, but I do think 4 might be my personal favorite of the 4, although I think all 4 of them are great in their own way. But yeah, episode 1 debuts this week on Amazon Prime, November 3rd, so make sure you share your thoughts down below once you get a chance to check it out. Once you get a chance, share your thoughts down below. What did you think of season 2 of Invincible? Did you like the show? Did you not like the show? Share your thoughts down below, because part of the fun is having the conversation with you guys in the comment section down below. And thank you guys, as always, for checking out videos. I always do appreciate it. Be sure to like on the video and also subscribe to the channel to update reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. Next time, I'll see you guys later.